Well, howdy, 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 y'all. Teresa here, and the critters. And first off, I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there, or mothers to be, and also to all of the women that are mothers to fur babies, because I think it should actually be kind of International Women's Day, because if you were, you might not have given birth to to humans, but we all have, most of us anyway, have that very loving nature in us. So whether or not you, like I said, have given birth to human children, if not, you probably have been very loving to other people around you or to animals. So happy International Loving Women's Day. Oh, gotta take this fan and shut it off. Toss it in the chair. Just wanted to show you the fur babies right there. I can get Charlie in frame here. Right there, Charlie. Charlie! Hello, Charlie. Hi! And there's Mama, if you see her. Yep. I'm a little under the weather today, so you kind of bear with me here. I have a little bit of a sour tummy. I thought I would talk to you guys while I do a little bit of loom knitting and share part of this day with you guys, if you don't mind. Making another hat. Let's see, what did I redo yesterday? Quick recap on yesterday. Oh, let me do the weather real quick. It is May 14th, 2017, Sunday afternoon, well, evening. It's 5:08 now. Look at the weather. Come on. Okay, it's 82 degrees right now. Real feel is 87. The high will be 86, and the low will be 68. So it's a pretty nice day out. Brad's at work. That's what we do yesterday. Brad worked yesterday. He worked a day shift, and I just kind of floundered yesterday. I was talking with my friend Angie through text message, and we both just kind of had lazy days. I don't even know why. It wasn't that I was not feeling well or anything. I just, I don't know, just really didn't feel like doing anything, so I didn't. Well, I did, don't get me wrong. I didn't clean house, but, I did some loom knitting, and, see, when Brad got home, we went outside, and, he cooked chicken. Well, I did paint for a couple hours outside, which was really nice, and I did some loom knitting. Brad made the chicken, and we bought some of those Yukon Gold potatoes, because we really prefer those over the regular russet. So we did the baked potatoes. Oh, he moved the microwave oven. I told you guys, I don't know if I told you guys or not, that I thought we were going to have to move it because the newer microwave wasn't getting enough ventilation. Well, he ended up having to switch stuff around, and now it's on top of the stove and stuff. So because what they had tried to do was they had tried to put a regular microwave up in the space where they had it built in originally in the RV. And I'm not too sure if maybe that's what made the other microwave die, was it not getting enough ventilation. So yeah, but I ended up moving that stuff while I was outside painting. That way the dogs were out of his way too. And after that, we just kind of watched TV, and I did some loom knitting. Like I said, I'm not feeling real perky today. A little bit of a sour tummy and just super tired today. But anyway, I made this hat. This is an infant hat. Made that. And then I made this one, which I really like too. This is a small adult. So there's that. And 2 more to go into the donation bag. Then I'm making this one, which will be a large adult. And I'm just starting to do the brim right now. So today, so far, I really haven't done anything. Not really. I mean, I've just kind of angle this down so you can see what I'm doing a little bit when I'm talking to you. What have I done today? We went outside for a little bit before Brad had to go to work. And then waited for him to go to work, and I laid down. Like I said, I wasn't had any faith this row. I wasn't feeling too awfully perky, so I just loom knitting. I try to take Sundays to do something I want, even if I have other stuff to do, even if I have orders to do or stuff. I try to have Sunday be the one day a week that I do some things I'd like to do. I did sit down and answer comments last night and take care of emails and stuff, so that was good. I still have to, later tonight I'm going to email a few places in Arizona about donation, sending those hats to, and then so that'll be good. And then tomorrow I gotta work on, I'm still paying on student loans, so I'm gonna work on some of that paperwork. So anyway, besides all that, I've just been kind of keeping to myself. I think today is always kind of a reflective day for so many of us women too. Reflection of our past and, being mothers and everything. And I thought what I might share with you guys might be my 2 stories of giving birth to our 2 daughters. I've been pregnant 3 times, and I had a miscarriage in between the 2 girls. And my first daughter, I had her, I got married at 18, right out of high school, basically, and then I had her a year later, like a year and a half later. No, a year and 2 months later. That's very important when you're, because you don't want anybody to think that you had to get married back in those days. I know things have changed greatly now, but, back in those days, you didn't want anybody to think you had to get married. So, when I had my daughter, I had her on October 15th. I got over to my grandmother's house to help. They had just gotten in some beef. My grandparents owned that bowling alley, and they had 2 big Chester freezers in their garage. Well, they used to go to Riverton, where my grandfather's brothers had cattle ranches, and when it came butchering time, they would order 2 or 3 sides of beef, and so when they would come back, then all the meat had to be unloaded and stuff. So went over there to help them do that, even though I was 9 months pregnant, because I was hoping that might set me into labor. It did. And went up to the hospital, and back in those days, this hospital just had like all the women laboring in one huge room, with beds lined up, and the only thing separating you were curtains. So I'm terrified. I'm 19 years old. This is with my ex-husband, and he was of no help, and I didn't really know what to expect or anything. And so I did my laboring, and they put you in there and they're like, okay, we'll be back check on you in a couple hours. Well, things progressed really quickly, and I told my then husband to go get the nurse because, I was feeling the urge to push. She came in and checked me. Stuff started flying off of me. She started wheeling me into a room. Of course, my ex didn't come in the room. And they're getting me prepped, and back in those days too, they used to still shave you. Well, the nurse was getting ready to shave me. She only made one swipe, and down the private area, and with the razor blade, and she said she's crowning, and the doctor wasn't even there yet. They literally pushed her head back in. And of course, I'm young and I don't know what to do, but they pushed her head back in, and the doctor came strolling in a few more minutes in his golfing clothes, acting very irritated. How dare I interrupt, him on his golf game, and delivered her. So from the time I got to the hospital to her delivery was 2 hours and 15 minutes. No epidural or anything, And so that was the story on her. And my second child, because my girls had the same sperm donor, which was my ex-husband. Then my husband adopted them. But anyway, pregnant with her, and I had trouble carrying both of my girls because of high blood pressure. And they had even life-flighted me while I was still pregnant with her because they thought that I was leaking amniotic fluid. And it was way too early. So they life-flighted me down to Denver because they had a higher level nursery down there. And then come to find out I wasn't at all. But anyway, had her with no epidural or anything, just very fast delivery. It was 90 minutes from start to finish. From the time I hit the hospital until she was born was 90 minutes. There was just no time. Well, we went up there to be checked, and they said, oh, no, you're not far enough dilated to go home. Well, we didn't live real close to home. We lived a good half hour, and I said, I'm not going back home because I deliver really fast. And I said, so I'm just going to walk around, and they said, that's fine. And so, I walked, did a whole bunch of walking, and went back an hour later to get checked, and bam, stuff again started flying off and stuff, and again, nobody in the room with me except for the hospital personnel, and no epidural, no anything, because it just wasn't time, and delivered her, bam. But I delivered her so fast I tore very badly, so, took a while to get me stitched up and stuff, but, that's the two big stories. And I got lucky enough to be, I have 3 grandchildren, to be with each of my daughters when they gave birth to their firstborn. And I didn't get to be there when my grandson Alaric was born because they were living in Spokane, Washington at that time. But that just tell you that was probably the most beautiful thing I ever witnessed in my life, is watching my girls give birth and being in the room and stuff. And, at both of them, I was there while I watched that baby actually, coming out of the birth canal and being born and stuff. And what a beautiful thing. Watch those babies take their first breaths and everything. And purely, just so beautiful. And, both my girls had epidurals. They did great. I have to say, uh, just because I didn't have epidurals because there wasn't time. And back then, when I had my first daughter, it was 1983, and they really weren't in our area doing much with the epidural. And when I had my second daughter in 1986, they were, but there just wasn't time. But they both had epidurals, and that's a beautiful thing to watch. You watching your daughter in so much pain, or whoever you're watching, and then to see the relief, and then they're able to really enjoy the laboring process, or getting ready for that uh, whole event, watching the baby emerge and stuff. It's just so breathtaking. I still watch birthing videos on here because I just love to watch the miracle of life, or watch animals giving birth. So, it's beautiful. But those are my Mother's Day stories. I don't regret it. It was hard having a baby so young because maturity-wise, I really wasn't ready for my first child. But you learn along the way, and I don't ever regret having them. And sometimes you get lucky and you see your daughters, and now they're totally different now than they were, when they were 16, of course. And sometimes you catch yourself and you look at your daughter, your beautiful adult daughter now, and you see her as this beautiful woman, and you take a look and you realize that you had just a small part to play in that, and you just feel so blessed because you're like, look at this phenomenal woman. Both of my daughters are phenomenal women. And to think that I was blessed enough to be their mother. That I might, and like I said, I just played a small part in them being the women they are today. Because, your parents raise you up to a certain age, and what you do for the rest of your life is up to you. But like I said, I'm very proud of my daughters, and even they have very different lifestyles than I've led and stuff, but that's not a bad thing. Things are very different these days, and everybody makes their own choices, but they're very intelligent, successful, beautiful women, and I also get excited seeing like my granddaughter. And you think about it, and she's 12. So you say, even 10 to 15 years from now, she could be having her own children. And that just kind of blows your mind, and you think, you're watching the cycle of life. I guess is the whole thing, that whole beautiful cycle of life. And, so I'm having a good Mother's Day. Both of my daughters did text me Happy Mother's Day, and that meant a lot. My youngest daughter, her husband has been an over-the-road truck driver. They've been married for 5 years, and out of those 5 years, 4 years, he's been basically working out of town. So they decided, and I think part of it might have had to have done with my daughter's best friend committed suicide in February. And I remember telling you guys about this. I think it really struck a strong chord within both my daughter and her husband. And they decided that even though he's going to be making less money and stuff, they wanted him to quit being an over-the-road truck driver, to be home more, because, he's missing out on so much, and, they're missing out on being together, and he's missing out on so much with the kids and stuff. So tomorrow he starts his new job in town. And I'm so very happy for them. I mean, when she told us that he'd gotten the job and stuff, I was just so thrilled because, I know this has been very hard on my daughter, and I know it's hard on all women that their husbands work out of town. And, you might function okay in the daytime and stuff, but those nights can be very lonely. Those holidays, weekends and stuff. I mean, so I'm really, really happy for them that he's going to be home every night now. So that's just terrific. Very, very happy for them. But, they've had some rough things happen to them because of the economy and stuff. So, but they're trucking through. Both of my daughters are doing well. So I hope everybody's having a good Mother's Day, and even if you aren't doing anything, like not doing anything, my husband's at work, just look at all you've accomplished. Even, like I said, even if you haven't taken the route of bringing another human into this world, maybe you just were very loving to foster children, or or to maybe you have fur babies, or maybe you are a mentor to a young person, or maybe it's just you and whoever is your mate. We all have that loving aspect to us. So that's why I say happy International Loving Women's Day instead, because, I don't want anybody to feel left out. Some women just haven't been able to have children or decided that wasn't the right fit for them. Some women aren't interested in having children or feel that their lifestyle wouldn't be a good fit, and you have to really respect that. You have to really respect it. We have friends that have decided they didn't want to have children. Maybe they just don't really care for children, or maybe they just not interested in raising any. And you have to really respect that, because I think that takes a lot of guts and stuff to be able to stand up and say, you know what? That's not for me. Because, a lot of times they take so much crap for not having children. It's like one must have children. No, one doesn't have to. One friend of ours, the couple, she's a child psychologist for the school system, but still they decided long ago not to have children of their own. I hate that phrase, though, children of their own. I really do. Because for me, it doesn't matter whether or not you gave birth to that child. A lot of people say, oh, this is their stepchildren, or step-grandchildren. With me, once you're in the family, I don't care, if aliens dropped you down. You're just my grandchild. You're just, part of the family. There's no step, there's no half, there's none of that. So, I mean, to say children of their own, we got that a lot when Brad and I got married. Because, like I said, the girls are from my first marriage, and then he legally adopted them. Exactly 1 year after we got married. Well, a year and a month. No, actually, a year and 2 weeks. We adopted them on September 11th, 1984. No, 1989, because we got married in 1988. Anyway, they still celebrate that date. But we got a lot of people going, well, you can have some of your own. And that used to make my husband so livid. Because, see, he's adopted, too. His mom and his sperm donor were married. And then they split up even before he was born. And then his father adopted him years down the road. So for somebody to go, well, no, but, I mean, some of your own, and he would get so mad, but they are mine. You know. So, I hate that terminology, and that's just me. So, and I know that I made a lot of mistakes as a parent. We all do. And sometimes we look back on it, and we are just kind of appalled and ashamed and stuff. All you can do is just, go on and keep doing the best you can. So, I hope everybody's having a great day. And I hope that if you're doing something for Mother's Day, you're having fun. If you're not, that's okay too. We have doctor appointment tomorrow morning. Bleh. Actually, it'll be okay. It's to go over our blood test results, our A1C and all that, and get a game plan going. And yes, Linda, I am, okay? I know Linda's going to be on me. So I keep having infections in my legs from those sand fleas and no-see-em. And then my legs, it sounds really gross, but from those spots, they kind of drain. So yes, I'm going to show the doctor and talk to her about that. Plus, then she'll be talking to me about what we're going to do about a few other things going on with me. But anyway, love you guys, and I do cherish your friendship so much. And don't worry about me, I'll be okay. And I think you guys are awesome, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.